Now, while I'm editing this video, I did forget to mention that speed is the only fun tree inside the game. Like, Hakuda and Kendo just aren't that fun in the first place. So that could be a very big reason why 80% of the player base is on speed. I'm not really saying nerf speed. I'm kind of saying make the other trees better. Because I think speed is perfectly fine how it is. It just kind of is running the game right now. You guys can watch the whole video and see my opinion on this current matter. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably something a lot of people have been thinking about, and nobody's really come out and said it. And honestly, it's been this way for like a year, and for some reason, nobody has tried to come out and say it. But speed might be an issue. And I know I'm part of the issue because I'm using speed, but speed might be an issue in the current meta of the game. Because you added Devil Trigger, which just made speed even better. If you're a Rontar Devil Trigger, you're just the best thing inside the game. The new Yamato crits are also some of the best things inside the game. And then if we look at speed, honestly, if we look at all of the skill trees back to back to back, speed's the best one by far. By far. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I don't even think Kendo's in the top 2 anymore. I think Kendo is number 3, and Hakuda has taken the Kendo spot. I don't know if it's just the current meta of the game doesn't really favor Kendo that much. But when you look at Kendo's moves in comparison, right? Like, Kendo does have some good moves, don't get me wrong. Bisection, Rising Swallow, Vertical Down, Overpowering Slash is even pretty decent. Delayed Crossing, Flower Passage, and, the skill boxes are pretty good. But even those moves that I just listed, right? Flower Passage is probably one of the easiest things to either counter or just dodge. All you have to do, dodge at the right time, or you can hit them with a move. Dropping Fang, Flash Cut. For me, because I have Creed Emblem, I can Floating Strikes them. I can use any of my element moves. There's so many moves that counter Flower Passage, and that is their only gap closer. Their only other gap closer is Flowing Petals, and that might be the most dog shit move ever, because nobody is ever hitting the second part of it. If you get hit with the second part of Floating Petals, you might have to genuinely quit the game, because all you have to do is sit there and block. But it is a good gap closer, don't get me wrong. If you're far away from someone, it's a great move. But just, if you look at Kendo's moves in comparison to everything else, right? Bisection, Rising Swallow, both really good moves. Vertical Down's a great move, it guard breaks. Split J is technically a good move, but it's only good because of Vertical Down, so I can't really say Split J's good. Overpowering Slash is good, but the chances of you hitting it is just very, very low right now. And then Delayed Crossing is good, but it's also just a free block. Flower Passage is one of the easiest moves to either counter or dodge. Flowing Petal sucks. Pressure Shift out of nerf. And Mortal Ties. At the current meta, Mortal Ties kind of nerfs you if you're a Kendo player. If you Mortal Ties a Hakuda player or a Speed player, all you're doing is enclosing yourself with someone that has better combos than you, which makes zero sense. There's zero reason to use Mortal Ties at the current moment. But at the same time, Pressure Shift might be the worst the worst counter inside the game right now. So none of your options are really great. I'm not gonna lie. But then if we look at the other stuff, right? Air Style is amazing right now. And Ground Style is also pretty goddamn, they're both pretty fucking good. Air Style and Ground Style, it doesn't matter which one you use, because they're both pretty good. And then, if we start talking about Vow of Sacrifice, Kendo's Vow of Sacrifice is better than Speed's, okay? Speed does have the worst Vow of Sacrifice. I can at least admit that. But Hakuda is still a better Vow of Sacrifice to use than Kendo. Like, Hakuda Vow of Sacrifice might be one of the best builds inside the game right now. Whether if you're Air Style or Ground Style. I do believe it is better on Air Style, but Ground Style, I was fighting an actual good player on it yesterday, and I did beat him because speed is just that brain dead. But like ground style is still pretty compy right now. And then Kendo, it's just like, I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Kendo. We all know that Kendo has the highest skill ceiling inside the game, right? Like you can become amazing at Kendo, but to obtain that level of amazing, someone on speed can kind of just be casually playing the game and playing stupid and have that same level of skill. Like the best speed player and the best Kendo player, I would say honestly, probably 7 out of 10 times, the speed player is more than likely going to win. If you look at speed moves, it's just overall better. Flash fake out is a must needed move. Flash cut is a must needed move. Dropping Fang is a really good gap closer. Floating strikes, now that Creed Emblem is inside the game, is insane, and even without it, it was still pretty insane, because you can pair it with Swift Slashes, and that's a free, like, whole-ass bar combo right there. Fast Fang is insane. Waterfall Dance is good for applying pressure and also lowering people's posture. Spectre Step sucks. Skyscraper, pretty good, right? If you actually hit it, it's insane. And then Time Cut is also, once again, just like Waterfall Dance, it's really good for gap closing, and it's also really good for just draining people's posture. Even if they're blocking it, you're still draining their posture to crazy. And then, if we compare skill boxes, sure, I guess you can say Kendo skill boxes are better, but we're not gonna, like, say that speed skill boxes aren't insane either right now, right? Black Claw, Ghost Sleeve are both insane. Ghost Sleeve almost 90% of the time will hit, and then you can also bait out people's counters with them because of the feint version that it has. Black Claw is just insane. It always has been. It's really good for combos, really good for gap closing, and like close. It's just always been insane, right? And then even if we look at the other skill boxes, Flash Fang has a new craftable version that freezes people and made the range like 2 times better. And then we also have Shroud Strike, which now has a counter. So if someone tries to M1 you, all you have to do is spam right click. You don't even have to time it. All you have to do is spam right click and you counter them with Shroud Strike. So Speed has 4 insane skill boxes right now. I'm not gonna lie. And then Kendo, yes, it has Crescent Relief, which is insane, don't get me wrong. And then it also has Eviscerate, which is also insane. But it doesn't have a wide selection. It has one or the other. You run both of those, and that's all that you run. You don't run any other Kendo skill boxes. Like, what the fuck even is the other one? Sonata Flow? Nobody runs that. And if you do run that, then you're a bot, and you need to blue pill your skill boxes and change to Crescent Relief and Eviscerate, because they're just way better. And then Hakuda is just Hakuda, bro. Like, I know it's easy to block, but if you are going against a Hakuda player that has Valve Sacrifice, you're not going to be able to block it in the first place. Like, it's insane. So, in the current meta, it's kind of just like Kendo's overshadowed. Like, it's overshadowed. I'm not going to lie. Because, right, speed is very self-sufficient, where Kendo kind of requires ultra skills, essences, and things like that. But after the new changes, with ultra skills and all that, Kendo you can only use one. You can use Vow Sacrifice, which is obviously, it's great, but then you can't use Horizon Core. And then you can't use whatever ultra skill, right? So it kind of made it really worse for Kendo, where speed doesn't suffer from that. Speed didn't need Unseen Blade at all, right? Like, Unseen, don't get me wrong, it was a cool skill, but it wasn't needed at all for speed. You can run Valve Sacrifice and Creed Emblem and be perfectly fucking fine without an Unseen. Where Kendo, if you run Valve Sacrifice, you still almost want and need your Horizon Core. Like, it's still almost like a must-needed thing. Like, if you go watch Nano's video, he was literally saying how the vertical down into your spirit doing the split gate into you doing Horizon Core is literally a free, like, bar and a half combo. But that's not even a combo that you can actually legitimately do. And I'm not saying that Kendo is dog shit at all. There will be good players with Kendo. It's just speed is just universally better right now. You have Devil Trigger, and speed is just very self-sufficient right now. The only thing that I could say Kendo is better at is that it works better with elements, right? Because you have actual elements that combo with it very well. Where speed, it's kind of like I said, it's self-sufficient. You don't need a certain element. It's just good by itself. And maybe that's a crazy take. I don't know. Maybe some people are gonna disagree with me and say Kendo's God and Kendo's the best thing inside the fucking game, blah blah. Because I do know Kendo has skill boxes. I do know Kendo has all this. But at the current moment, in my honest opinion, I don't even have Kendo in my top two. I honestly think Speed and Hakuda are the ones running this game right now, and Kendo's kind of just getting overshadowed right now. Like, you can still use Kendo, don't get me wrong. Kendo's still going to be a great option. I just, after seeing ranked yesterday, me playing ranked, and me doing it as Kendo players, the amount of pressure and, like, actual how hard they were to kill felt way easier than it ever was. Like, I I wasn't scared to fight them at all. But when I see a speed player, no matter what race he is, you know, I start shaking in my boots a little bit because speed is literally insane. And it always will be. I'm not gonna lie, the best build inside this game at the current moment is 45 speed in 2010 though. It's the best build in the game. You get bisection, you get rising swallow, but then you still get swift slashes, floating strikes, waterfall dance, dropping feint, fast feint, all the good moves. And then, okay, let's say you can't run this build. Let's say you can't run 45 and 20 because you want to run Devil Trigger and Devil Trigger costs 50. Okay? Then you just go 60 speed, you get Time Cut, you get Skyscraper, and then your build is still insane. Like, if you go play ranked, I'm telling, or even if you just go run around KT, cooling games, whatever, I'm telling you right now, 75% of this game's player base is on speed. And then probably 10% is on Hakuda, and then the rest are on Kendo. And then obviously there's a few Keto players, there's a few Medic players. But overall, speed is kind of running this game. And the crazy part is, I don't even think that it really needs a nerf. I just think the base plate of speed will always be that good to the point where it doesn't need a nerf. Like, I can't say that there's a singular one move on this whole skill tree that is just completely brain dead and it needs a nerf. It's just like the way speed functions makes it better. If you guys get what I'm saying, it just simply makes it better. It's so self-sufficient to the point where you don't need essences. You don't need Vow Sacrifice. You don't need all this. Where Kendo, you kind of need it. Like, Kendo without Vow Sacrifice right now is kind of just like, it's okay. Like, it's alright. But it's not nearly as good as either it used to be. Maybe it's because people now know how to play against Kendo. But before, Kendo actually seemed crazy. And now, I think way more people are realizing that it's just not nearly as good as it really is. Like, as much as people say it is. Maybe that's just my own opinion. But I truly believe that speed kind of just runs this game at the current moment. I actually think 75% of this game's player base is on speed. And it makes sense. Like I said, it makes sense. Kendo has like 4 or 5 good moves, where speed's whole skill tree is good. Kendo, you have no build variety because you only have 2 good skill boxes, where speed has 4. And then Hakuda obviously has build variety because you can pick between ground or air. You can pick your skill boxes because there's a few good skill boxes, more than 2 for sure on Hakuda. And it's just like, I don't know. Because I like Kendo, don't get me wrong. But even myself on my Kendo build, I can agree that speed is better in every function. Like, it just simply is better. I'm not gonna lie. Especially with Devil Trigger being added. Speed, around our build. Once when Ancient Vasto gets added, I think that's where a lot more people are going to start seeing what I'm seeing. Because once when people have Ancient Vasto, Devil Trigger, nobody will want to play ranked ever again. Nobody. Not a singular soul will want to ever enter ranked. Because once when the vast majority of the community starts unlocking their Ancient Vasto and we find out their requirements, I'm going to make one. I'm going to have to make an Ancient Vasto build because it will run this game. Like, Clan Wars, that's all you're going to see. Cooling games, Arantars are probably gonna win. And then it's just, hey, bro, GG, to be honest. But yeah, I would definitely say speed is running this game right now. You guys can feel free to disagree or agree with me. Like, obviously, this is just my own opinion. But I think a vast majority of people are going to probably agree with me. Just because if you enter ranked right now, even though the rewards, you don't get fucking rewards. And I need Daniel to fix it so I can start getting rewards. But anyways, if you don't get ranked, I would say, fuck, 6, maybe 8 times out of 10, you're going to fight against someone using speed. At the very least, you're guaranteed to fight someone using a hybrid build, right? Like, nobody's not on a hybrid build. But you guys, like I said, you guys can feel free to leave your own thoughts inside the comments. That's it for me. If you guys end up enjoying it, like, subscribe, do all that. And leave your own opinions inside the comments. Because I can't be the only one inside this whole update that is realizing that Kendo's kind of just, like, it's alright, but it just isn't nearly as scary as it used to be, in my opinion. But yeah, you guys can feel free to leave your own thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys inside the next one. Peace.